Hey yo fellow Autobots, Decepticons, trans fans, Legonians, and Brick fans. This is Dave Frost reporting, and once again with part 2 of our 1 week of destruction with Mixmaster. Now, I understand that he is not the correct... He is a cement truck, but he is not facing the correct way. Well, in literal terms, here in reality, he is. Because there are cement trucks that have the cab on this side versus having it on this side. And you can see that compared to Scrapper, he has a lot more purple showing. And some black and some silver. Unfortunately, the cement mixer drum cannot spin. It is stuck in place where it is positioned at, because this part here of the cab of the truck goes into it, as you see there. And back here are just a couple of vents, where this being the cab, it has windows here and here. Well, that's the windshield, and here are the windows on both sides. And you see a lot of detail, like ladders going up to the mixing drum of the vehicle, and 3 gas canisters, 1 here behind the cab and then 2 on the sides indicated in silver. Alright, now let's go into robot mode. So what you want to do is take the cab section, well, take the arms, fold them away from the legs, because there's a tab on both sides, on both legs, on the outer sides, that go into these tabs here. And, I'm pretty sure, yeah, you can see that right there. That is gonna free up the legs. And now you can split them. Now you put the lower arms back down. And you swing the whole arm assembly up. And then you take this back cavity section, swing up the head, fold the back cavity back down, and there is the head, and he is now in robot mode. Now you can see the detail on his body cavity, where we have red, a Decepticon symbol, and also some gold among silver, black, and purple. So it's a pretty cool head sculpt. It somewhat resembles the Decepticon logo. And not exactly sure if you can see, but he does have red eyes. They are just very small, so it's very hard to recognize where they are at, but they are above the silver face, as they would be. And like I said, the detail is rather awesome, resembling a Decepticon logo. Like the horns going upward, and some detailing beneath the head crest, above the nose, and above the eyes as well. Now, usually, these things here and here that are sticking out, they would be in the silver color. And on the G1 version of Mixmaster, those would be missiles, or on the actual toy product, it would be one whole shooting missile. But unfortunately, they did not take the time to color the tip of those missiles silver to initiate that they are there, and make it accurate to the character in the Generation 1 Transformer TV show. And I will be right. And now we need to go back into vehicle mode and compare. So let's bring in Scrapper, who is the character that we reviewed yesterday. And from the look of it, they're somewhat the same size. That's including the back area of Mixmaster and the scoop of Scrapper. Now, I do not have a secondary mixing truck to compare, so we'll just have to bring back in Scoop. And obviously Mixmaster, just like Scrapper, they are both Voyager class scale, as Scoop remains to be deluxe. So now we have Mixmaster back in robot mode, and let's bring in Scrapper. So like I said, they're the same scale of Voyager class. So they're practically at the same height. Now not only do I have Mixmaster and Scrapper in comparison, that's the best I can do without bumping over the mixing drum. But I also have Scoop. Then I have Onslaught. Who is also a Voyager class. Sorry for shaking the camera so much, just trying to get good lighting. Then I also have Shockwave, who is a Legend class figure. Onslaught and Shockwave are also from Combiner Wars, but they came out much earlier. I mean later, long after Devastator came out. And I don't necessarily want to be comparing Shockwave or Onslaught in vehicle mode with Mixmaster. It's not really that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal, I don't think. Now, let's go into combination mode. So what you want to do with Mixmaster is somewhat do the same thing as you did with Scrapper. But Mixmaster is not really doing a handstand since his arms cannot rotate. Or actually, we need to go into Articulation. So, other than all this kibble behind and above its head, Mixmaster's head can rotate. And obviously not have much room to tilt. That's better. And these feet of his are nice and big, when especially having all this back kibble. Now come to the shoulders, there is rotation and outward and inward bending and elbow bend. But unfortunately there's no hand rotation or actually there is elbow rotation. But it just looks kind of weird that there's this big gap between the lower arm and the upper arm, because the elbow is just a hinge, and I think these fists would look better on Scrapper. Like, not exactly Mixmasters, I'm just saying Scrapper's hands should look bigger. But, of course, they curl in, so they would have to fit into the lower arm. Bending the arms out, we can now come down to the hips. And there is no unfortunately, there is no hip rotation. But, well, like, you can't twist Mixmaster's waist around, is what I'm saying. But there is outward bending, and it could go that far forward, and due to the backpack, that far back. There is knee bendage. And the only rotation available is at the hip. Then come down to the feet, and there is ankle tilt, but it's also there for when transforming Mixmaster into combination mode, because it's meant to go like that to bring out something from inside the leg, right above the foot, but we'll go into that later in combination mode. And that's about it for articulation. So now, combination mode. So you want to take this out, fold the head in, but leave that cavity back. And fold this out from the chest. And flip him over. Fold back, in this case, folding back the arms. And then folding them in at the hinge. And you may already be getting a clue as to what Mixmaster is for combination mode. Then take the cab section, fold it inward like you were going back into vehicle mode. But in this case, leave it out, because this is what you have to fold out when folding inward the feet and then folding them back up. And this whole cab assembly is going to go back into the mixing drum as if you were going into vehicle mode. And then you just leave the Mixmaster figure just like that, similar to Scrapper, where you have to leave this portion of the vehicle mode out like this. Technically it's different because you do that with the feet of Scrapper, but the feet are right here for Mixmaster. So, now I did bring Scrapper back in, and if you want, you can have his Decepticon logo on top of his cab, like the entire cab section turned around like that. But for me, I don't care for accuracy compared to the actual thing of Devastator. I just rather having it like that. It's my figure. I'll do what I want with it, as you can do what you want with it if you want to get this figure. And so now you get a sense of scale to begin with as how Devastator is going to look, with lower legs and feet this big and this long. And believe me, if you've already seen the review of Scrapper in the beginning of the video, you would understand how tall he is. Even if you've already seen the haul video of Devastator when I got him 2 days ago, you would understand that if you saw that video, you would know that he's 18 inches tall. So you're getting a bit of an idea as to how tall. But that will have to do with today's review of Mixmaster, part 2 of We Want 1 Week of Destruction, part 2. So, I thank you all for watching. Please stick around for more great LEGO and Transformer content. Have a good rest of your week. Well, I'll see you around next time. And have a good rest of your week as we continue with tomorrow being part 3, Long Haul.